Hi everybody, Mary here, and this second video we're going to talk about kind of the general flow of the class and how grading is going to work. Now, the general flow of the class is going to be you're going to watch videos. That's how you are going to get the information. There are PowerPoint notes in the packet that you are buying from the online bookstore. And as you watch those lecture videos, you are going to fill in the blanks. There are blanks in those PowerPoints. And that's to encourage you to watch the videos. Physics is not a subject you can wing. Physics is not a subject that you can kind of treat it like a buffet and go in and say, oh, I'm just going to do the homework and I'm not actually going to learn anything before I do the homework. Yeah, you're going to crash and burn like a big fuzzy ball of burning fuzzy stuff. It's not going to be pretty. The class is designed so that you watch the videos. We do some practice problems together. So I give you a problem, we walk through it together, and when those practice problems occurs, example problems occurred, do those with me. When I say pause, try this on your own, try it, then hit play and watch the rest of it with me to see if you did it right. Because physics is a skill. You are learning a new skill, and the skill is how to do physics problems. Trust me, if you had woken up one day, magically knowing how to do physics, you would not have to take this class. So you are learning a new set of skills, how your brain works, how do you mathematically figure this stuff out. So you watch the videos, fill in the notes on the PowerPoints, do the practice problems. As we go along, you are going to be answering some questions on a study guide. Now, the study guides ask you to practice the word and idea parts of physics. What are the units? Who are the people? What are the laws? Because you have to understand the big picture and you've got to understand what's going on verbally before you can actually do this subject. So the study guides sit over here. Also, there are homework problems. Now, the homework problems are math. So you have to take the laws and ideas that you learned by watching the videos, and then you apply them to the homework problems and say, so I have to apply Newton's first law of motion in this situation with this equation. And now I'm going to predict this object hits this object. Boom, this is going to be the final velocity. So you watch the videos, the study guide helps you with the laws and information, practice the homework. Then you watch some more videos, do some study guides, do some more homework, and you keep doing that throughout a topic and throughout a chapter. At the end, near the end of the chapter, you do a lab. And in the lab, you take everything that you've been doing throughout the topic and the chapter, and then you get to practice it with real stuff. Can you really use this? If I say, here's a car, here's a measuring tape, here's a timer, can you predict mathematically what's going to happen? And then does it happen? Prove to you that this rules of physics really, really, really work. So the lab is practice everything that you've been doing in a real world situation. You get grades for doing the study guides, doing the homework, and doing the labs. And after you've done all of that and you've had all of that practice, then we have tests. We have a concept quiz over the ideas. We have a math test over the math. So let's look at that syllabus and see how that flies. Now, your syllabus will be found on the syllabus tab. Whoops, I can find my mouse here. On the syllabus tab, you can find this syllabus. So this is a generic syllabus. The first bits of information are kind of about the course itself, but let's dive right into the grading stuff. Study guides are 10 points each, and we're going to have 11 big topics throughout the semester. Homework problems are going to vary because of the fact that some chapters you're going to have a small number of homework problems. Some topics like heat and forces, we're going to be on those for 2 weeks because they're big topics with lots of homework, lots of ideas included, and you're going to have more homework problems, so you will get more points for those. We go back here. Labs are 20 points each. There are 14 of them. So this is a 16-week semester. Summer school, it's 8 weeks. And you are going to do a lab most weeks during the regular semester, or every week during the summer. You're going to be doing 2 labs pretty much. So summer goes kind of quick. And you're going to get points for those, 20 points per lab. About every other week, we take a concept quiz. Concept quiz asks you about the ideas, and the ideas are here in the study guides. And then there's a math test. The math tests are going to be over primarily the homework problems, the example problems, and you've practiced all of those in the labs. So if you do all of the watching the videos, doing the study guides, doing the homework as we go along, and you wrap it all up in the labs, by time you come to the assessments, my goal is that you are going to be ready. Now, will everybody be able to get an A all the time? Not necessarily, quite honestly, because it's going to depend to some extent on the amount of math and scientific background you walk into the class with. Anybody who puts in 100% effort and does everything ahead of time, and if they get stuck, asks for a little help from academic services, should be able to get the grade that they need for their program. Now, let's talk about other things in this syllabus. The grading scale is a straight 90, 80, 70, 60, nothing fancy there. The tests and quizzes are timed. Now, you're going to take online quizzes and tests. Time is part of the test. Why is time part of the test? Well, quite frankly, because I want you to watch the videos, do the homework and labs prior to taking the test. I've had students come to me and say, Mary, I need more time because halfway through the test, I was trying to Google the answers to all the questions and I ran out of time. That's not the way it's supposed to work. You should be learning before you take the assessment. So that's why the tests are timed. Quite frankly, if you have an accommodation plan and you need extra time, you are allowed extra time. Please get those accommodation plans to me as soon as possible so we can deal with that together. Labs, we talked about the lab kit. You need that immediately. Study guides and homework problems. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back down here. Let's talk about dropped lowest grades. What I do in the Canvas website is, in the grade book, I have it set up so that your lowest lab grade and your lowest homework grade, one of each, gets dropped. And that happens immediately. Why? Guys, we all have a bad week. People get sick, children get sick, cars don't start, they ask you to work extra at work. It happens to everybody. And so because of that, one lab automatically gets dropped and one homework automatically gets dropped, but all tests count. So that's just the way it works, and that does begin right away. Please don't ask for any extra credit. The answer is going to be no, because you have enough to do without asking for extra to do, just getting through everything in the course. Test retakes, you're not going to be allowed to retake the test, study before the exam. You don't have time. There's enough to do in this class. You're not going to have time to go back and do it again. There is a timeline, and you have to know things from Module 1 before you can do Module 2, before you can do Module 3. There is a sequence to physics, so you can't go backwards. You have to do it in order to understand the subject matter. Other things. Late assignments, you have 1 week from the original due date to turn in work. If it's due midnight, everything is due 11:59 Sunday night. You have 1 week until the midnight the next Sunday night to turn it in, maximum of 50%. You might say, oh, that's kind of harsh. Yeah, but you have to keep up. If you get way, way, way behind, if you don't understand forces, and we are 3 or 4 chapters ahead of you, you are in deep guacamole, and you have to know one topic before you go on to the next. Some subjects you study, you don't have to do that. Physics, you got to know this before you go on to the next thing. So that's to encourage you to keep up. Planned absences. If you know you're going to be gone, you are of course allowed to work ahead. The entire course is open right from the beginning of the class. So if you know you're going on a hunting trip, you know you're going to participate in a wedding. I've had students who have worked like crazy to buy themselves like 2 weeks in the middle of the semester off so they don't have to worry about physics because they're ahead by 2 weeks because they've got a family vacation or it is deer hunting or they've got this big adventure they're going to go on. Then they come back and they can pick right up where they left off. You can do that. If there are extenuating circumstances, and I mean extreme life event occurs, then talk to me. And I hope your life is really, really boring. I don't want anybody to have a major serious life event, but we're talking serious life event where we have to deal with counselors and advisors. If it's just the Packers lost or you've got a stuffy nose, that doesn't count. We're talking really serious life events. So I hope your life, like I said, is really dull and none of that occurs. The rest of this is pretty much things that CVTC asks I include, and you're welcome, and please do read it. One of the things I am going to mention is the no-show policy. You have to fully participate in the class, and fully participate doesn't mean you just say, hey, in the opening discussion board. That means you turn in assignments because people who are not around that first week and just don't participate traditionally don't do well in the course anyhow, and they can be academically dismissed. So that is the overview of the whole class. Please go through all of the assignments in order. Please click through every single page. And it's going to be a fun semester, but I don't want to sugarcoat things and tell you, it's a piece of cake. Physics is work because you are learning a new skill and you're teaching your brain to think physics. Once you get there, it's really fun, but it's not going to come without a little effort on your part. It's going to be a fun time, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.